live on YouTube. So we're live on my YouTube right now. Liddy, what's up, YouTube? So everyone that follows me on YouTube should get a notification that I am streaming. Now I want to figure out, can I stay streaming? Yes, and try to open up Facebook and see if I can share that and share my screen. So we can be doing two things at once. This lets me take a photo. I don't know, these things don't let me highlight it. So that's where we're at. Say something. Blessings. Just put that. Much love and light.
Love and light, love and light.
Thanks for checking us out. So, Kenese, I'm doing this. Share with my audience who you are because they know who I am, but they don't know who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is
Yeah, you're still there.
My name is Kenese Sonny. I'm an intuitive transformational coach, and I also have an edible company called Stone Fusion, where I'm infused edibles with cannabis, CBD, THC, and just lots of love and positive energy. That's who I am.
Facts. Yay. So somehow I'm streaming this for Facebook to see. It says right here, sharing this tab. But I'm not live just yet on my Facebook. But we're gonna go into the Megaminds, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into there before we're actually sharing that screen. So we're gonna be sharing some yoga concepts today, bringing in the thoughts of yoga, how it can be beneficial for yourself.
We're live on YouTube.
And you're in it.
And you're in it.
With or without your cassette.
Ooh, they can see you.
I gotta take my dog out, so I don't know.
Okay, well, have take your dog out before we go live on Facebook too.
She's ready. She wants to be a part of it.
Crawl together and y'all crawl back.
I just have to take her back out later.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not gonna be here that long.
Yeah, we're not gonna be here forever.
If it's more than 3 minutes.
So I'm hoping I'm sharing my screen properly. Let's see.
Are you live yet?
Yeah, I'm going live. But it does not say that it does not show that I am live how I want to be right now
I'm waiting for the
on Facebook. So I'm gonna dead this notification on Megaminds because it did not do what I wanted it to do.
Oh my God, one of my ankles are kicking in.
Delete video. Okay, cool. All right, I deleted that, so it's not even gonna be shown. I'm hoping I'm sharing my screen properly. Gosh, that's gonna be deleted.
My stomach. You went.
Where do I go live? Here we go.
Ooh.
The thing is like you have to be in the group.
We can watch it on the TV.
Option. Maybe you have it on mute.
Yeah.
Put that jammy on mute. All right, so now let me put the words in before I do the click screen. This is how we learn to share our love and light with the world. We take time, we have patience, we allow ourselves to unfold. Okay. So now we go to share screen.
Well, I can't do it on my own TV.
Hey, you learn. You learn. So now it is sharing. So it says I'm sharing, but I need to go live as well.
Maybe I can get the shifts this weekend.
So yep, it's sharing. I am going live. Oh, this is so dope. This is so
Okay, hold
cool.
on. Where are you? Where are you so I can find
It's
you?
about to come up now. You gotta wait for the seconds to go.
Oh, and then, okay, so that means it'll show.
Welcome YouTube. Welcome Facebook. Magnetic
Yes.
Minds. How are we doing?
Hey, oh my God, this is so cool. So we're
Yes.
on Facebook Live and we're on YouTube.
I'm finally live on my YouTube. This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Well, yeah, I was trying to connect it to the TV that would have been lit, but I have to connect it to the Fire Stick,
Mhm.
and that's upstairs.
So now we know what we can and can't do.
Yeah, so I can next time just pull it down, unplug from Venice TV, and then download the app. So now, can I share this as a watch party?
That's
That
what I'm
will
doing
be-
right now. So now we're split across the airwaves.
This is, technology is amazing.
We are split across the airwaves. So but we still need to be able, if we can't see the comments for those of you, if you really want me to see the comments, go and look for me on YouTube and we'll be able to check out those YouTube comments. I think we got one. No, that's just me, but I'm seeing other comments now popping up from Facebook. So if you want to engage with us more, you can definitely check me out on YouTube, Elite Motivation 411. I have a couple of episodes on there already for you to learn a lot more about me. I am Starseed for a lot of you that have not learned my name, but I'm here to share it. You also will know me as Marjorie Malperus. I go live on Facebook with my, I would say my government name. My surname. So, and I have my lovely friend Kenese Sonny with me. She is a divine goddess. I absolutely enjoy being in presence with her. She helps motivate me. She helps me to stay mindful. And I know I get to do the same thing for her as well.
Yeah, of course.
We like to push each other, and
Yeah.
we were talking about that earlier about, the mission that we've set forward on being a part of, which is our life.
Yeah.
Right. And Elijah was saying the other day about how it's not his story anymore. It's not her story anymore. It's not our story anymore. It's my story.
Yeah.
This is what we're here to incorporate into our lives. It's not just only acknowledging all the other stories out there, but setting a very high value on the standard of what your story looks like. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're here, to share. And since we've been doing yoga once a week, we're going to be doing that more with our lovely lady, Kirsten. What's her last name?
I can't remember.
Isn't it with the M?
I can't remember.
I'm going to check it. Oh, someone said hello. Hello. Hi. I see some people on the watch party.
Bruce.
They're commenting. Hey. Sending that love and light.
Yeah, Bruce says, hey, beautiful ladies.
Much love and light. We appreciate you for watching and showing up and sharing in this experience with us.
Yes.
So we do yoga every Friday in the Magnetic Minds group, Magnetic Minds 27. For those of you that are not in the group, you can check us out and find us there. We go live and we share with the yogas, 3 girls, and you can see the different variations of where we're at in our practice. So what we're practicing on Fridays is a style of yoga, which is called asana.
Okay.
Right? And asana is Sanskrit, right? So it's a Sanskrit word. And what that basically means is just someone else's language, and it's very ancient.
Yeah.
It's very old. And learning to incorporate those different languages into our everyday tongue helps populate new neural pathways for us. So that's one
important.
so that's one of the reasons why it's helpful to identify. So you're going to hear me saying the word asana a lot.
Okay.
So to help us start incorporating Sanskrit into our everyday life. So another part of understanding the pieces of yoga, I brought some papers here. Let's see, where's my other paper? Okay. So that I can go over it and make sure I'm saying the right stuff. So there's 8 legs of yoga.
8 legs.
8 legs, or the 8 limbs.
Okay.
Okay. And we we go through these attributes through life to be able to meet ourselves faster. Right? So the first 6, I'm reading it from the paper, this is information. The first 6 are things that you do, and the last 2 are things that happen to you.
Okay.
Right? So you have to do the first 6 in order to fully be able to engage in the last 2. So the first 2, which are really big.
Okay.
I'll give you some more Sanskrit words.
Okay, we're learning the ancient language.
Yes, yama and nayama.
Yama and nayama.
Mm-hmm.
And what does yama mean?
Yama, it means peace with the world.
Yama. Okay.
Right? And then nayama is peace with yourself.
Nayama.
Right?
I love that.
So we're identifying, coming through our consciousness, experiencing life, where we first must learn how to have peace with others and to have peace with ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's more levels for us to have this peace.
Okay. But shouldn't we have to have peace with ourselves first, then peace with others?
Well, it's really learning to do both at the same time, you know, and that's why you have to have. So on this other paper, it speaks about the yamas are your restraints.
Okay.
Right, and your niyamas are your observations.
Okay.
So in life, we really have only been learning our restraints. Right, so we've been stuck. On the first
laughing at us. That's not funny that we kind of slow in the universe and think we the only ones here.
You know, so we've been stuck on restraining ourselves. We restrain ourselves every day in our life. We restrain ourselves in our food. We restrain ourselves in our relationships. We restrain ourselves in our clothing. We restrain ourselves in the way we do business. Do you want me to keep going?
Damn, we just hindering holding our own selves back.
Yes. All because we didn't realize that we had to take that second step, which is to observe ourselves restraining from those people. So you see how it sounds like it's backwards, but the more willpower that you have for yourself and dealing with the outside world, because that's what we're immediately met with. We were met with coming into this world with people. We're coming out of vagina. We're really coming out of a really sticky situation.
Facts.
So, you know,
no line there.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot. There's a lot that's happening for us. And we can't just jump from being restricted in life and not observing what we're restricting.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't do that. They just restrict and keep on going. I love these conversations of learning and evolving. I feel like it's just food for my soul. Like I've been starving and finally here's the food to feed my soul, and I'm feeling healthy. Yes.
Right. Cleansing those cells.
Yes.
Revibrating them, giving them new words, fresh material, freshly old, forgotten about thought. You know, and this is not something. If reading things like the Bhagavad Gita, you come to the understanding, because they go further than 2,000 years, further than the Bible.
Yeah.
And they go and they speak about, how is it that we lose these teachings? It's just evolution over time. Things just get lost in the shuffle.
I feel that what I've noticed is that as we go on in years, we try to get things to be more convenient and easier for us to work less.
Yes.
And we're shortening things, and things were taken out, and things were, But the information, how to get information, the foundation that will keep us to really evolve.
It's necessary.
It's necessary.
It's
Yeah.
big time necessary. It's necessary.
And it takes time.
Yeah, it takes so much time, and we have to have that patience.
Yeah.
Like that big word, patience. What does your patience look like today? So when you're thinking about restraints, it goes into depth too. We're not just out there saying like, how do I have peace with the world? Well, let's go into that. So they have the Sanskrit words and the English words. I'm gonna attempt to say in more depth these Sanskrit words, but as you can see, there's levels to understanding someone else's language. So the first attribute is ahamsa, which is nonviolence. And this is yama, okay? I'll go back. This is the yamas. This is how to deal with creating peace in your world.
Okay.
So ahamsa, which is nonviolence. So in order to have peace in your world, you need to create nonviolence.
Wow.
Okay. Satya, truthfulness. So you must be truthful with the outside world, right? That comes first.
Yeah.
And to be truthful with the outside world, you must be truthful with yourself. And astaya, non-stealing. Brahmakara. That sounds really cool. Brahmakara. It's contentancy. Contentancy. Am I saying that right? Contentancy.
Yes.
I get my tongue twisters. I want to make sure I'm speaking it correctly. And then there's aparigraha. Aparigraha. These are Sanskrit, okay? Not my first language. And this is non-coveting, right? So we cannot covet the outside world if we want to have peace with it.
Yeah, can't be taking other people's shit, basically. AKA.
You have your own universe to deal with.
Yeah.
So now dealing with the nayamas, peace with yourself.
Okay.
Sucha, purity. Santosa, contentment. Tapas, not the food. Okay, tapas. Austerity. I'm going to make sure you help me with that one. I want to make sure I say it correct. Austerity. Austerity.
Oh, that's an A.
A-U-S. Right?
Austerity.
I get tongue twisted when I say my words outside.
How you say it? Austerity.
I'm going to Google it because I want to make sure that y'all get it correctly because I can tongue twist a word. So this is where Google comes in. Coming back into enunciating my words is fun. Let's see what it says.
Austerity.
Austerity. So I was saying austerity. Austerity. So it's, the sternness or severity of matter. So you have to have the austerity.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's sadhana. Self-study. You got to study self in order to have peace with self. And not just reading in the books, but you also have to study yourself and what you're doing. Like, why do you bathe? Why do you clean yourself the way that you do? Why do you pamper yourself the way that you do?
Why you feel the way that you do.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one is Isara Panahana. I'm pretty sure I didn't say that in its correctness. But in English, it's that you need to allow yourself to identify with what you resonate with, what you feel right with, And when you feel that balance, that yin and that yang, is when you can start stepping into that third practice. So a lot of people already start stepping into asana, not knowing about the nayamas and the yamas. Most of this is mostly supposed to be taught to us through the years of adolescence, through our parents, through our teachers. Some of us got bits and pieces, right?
Yeah.
Some of us got bits and pieces, but did we get the totality of it? Did we get the understanding of it, the realization of why it's essential? Everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. Oh, I put the volume back down. Okay. So now that I've given y'all a nice understanding of the first two limbs,
Okay.
you know, I just want to give you a second to like let that sink in. Like, what does that make you think about?
I feel now that I always thought yoga was, means to be physically in shape. It's not another form of exercise. But now I'm learning that there's a whole culture and belief system and philosophy behind it. So it's all about being. Yeah, it's just not going like rush to the gym. It's like you're being intentional. It's intentional.
Yeah, it's very intentional.
Yeah.
The holisticness.
Yeah.
The state of being.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about just keeping ourselves alive. Like the whole point of us being here right now is just not to just keep ourselves alive and identify. Like I've lived until like 87, but what did you do while you were living? You know?
Yeah. Sit on the couch and watch TV all the time.
You know, because you can be impactful once a week. You can be impactful once a month.
Yeah.
You can be impactful every single day. You can be impactful every single hour. It's all based upon how you're building your story. You know, and having these foundations will really help us to focus on that story and not be so caught up with, you know, who am I supposed to feel comfortable with restraining myself and observing things. You know, when we identify what we're supposed to be observing and restraining.
Yeah.
We don't have to hold on to like, because none of these things said anything about the level of clothes you wear. Right? Mm-hmm. None of them talk about the level of prosperity in your career. So that means that everything above it is just the things that come and go. Things that just add to your story or take away from your story. You know, so if you lose a job today, is that really going to take away from the foundation of the story that you're creating?
Yeah, sometimes it helps to propel you even further.
So knowing what that door closing or opening does for you, will help you move faster through that propelment instead of being bewildered. Like, was I not restrained enough? Was I not observing enough? You know, but if you're upholding to these set conditions, then you don't have to waste your time questioning that attribute of yourself. You can waste your time. You can spend your time saying, was there another door that was meant to be open for me? Yeah. Or should I push to have this door reopen for me because I know that this is where I should be? You know, spend time thinking those ideas and not thinking about, are your morals on check? You know, get a foundation for your ethical self. And that's the first 1 and 2 come, you know, for me when thinking about how I can base this in my everyday life. You know, what questions will understanding this, what questions will go away from me? It's just like how they say rich people wear the same clothes every single day because they know that takes energy to make that decision of what to put on. Yeah.
Minimizing waste and energy.
Yeah. So we minimize the questions that we have to ask ourselves daily. It allows us to maximize the time on the questions we do need to be asking.
Yes.
Is how to propel myself.
I like it.
Right? And so that's where the rest of the legs of yoga come in to help you propel yourself. Right? Because when you're starting to practice your asana, which are your poses, it helps you to bend into your body more.
Yes.
And what I've learned, because I read a book called Spiritual Yoga, And spiritual yoga was not what I thought it was. When you hear spiritual yoga, what do you think?
Yoga and the spiritual aspect of yoga.
Do you think you're going to be moving, or are you going to be sitting? Like, what do you think the book is going to teach you? I'll tell you myself, like, I thought that I was just going to learn how to do it like yoga asana in like a yoga, like a Buddhist form of a way. Like, you know, when you go and watch those movies and you see the person doing like the snake dance and shit or whatever, like, I'm thinking that kind of the spiritual yoga.
I don't know, I feel like the spiritual yoga will be the magical part of it.
Right? Like, yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah, like how to enhance certain things by certain moves. I don't know.
Yeah, so I started reading it and I was like, this is not, like, they're not showing me any moves. They're not showing me any physical.
So what's it about?
It's not physical, because it's spiritual, hello, right?
Yeah.
Anything spiritual is non-physical.
Yeah.
So it shows you moving in a non-physical way. So appreciating the inner workings of your mind and learning to really push your spiritual self all through your body. Let it actually be a spiritual experience for your totality of your body. And in combining that with yoga and understanding that asana, it helps you to bend in the legs. It helps you to work on your ligaments, right? This is one page that's really good. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see it, but y'all can zoom in on my camera.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, sure. Get up and show, and I can explain, right? So looking at it, you know, you can see those ligaments. You can bring it back a little bit off the light. Like, there we go. So you can see these ligaments. So yoga is allowing you to really feel all of the things that are happening on the inside of the body, you know, within the skin, you know, really creating an experience for the all of the dimensions of yourself. And what that does is because every part of your body is connected to your brain.
Yeah.
So when you're stretching in yoga, you're allowing a certain part of your brain to be triggered. That doesn't typically get triggered because it's not being utilized in your everyday walking.
Oh, wow, that makes so much sense. That's a lot of sense, yeah. So I have to start activating those other parts of my brain.
Yes. So these are the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles. This is what they're all intertwined. I want to see if I have another picture in here that shows you how, you know, it explains how, you know, your ligaments and your tendons are your stabilizers. They're the things that allow you to stand up. So like, just stand up. Stand up. For her to be standing in this position, her tendons and her ligaments are either contracting or restricting in order for her to stay in this pose right now. So your body is building the muscles and parts of itself that it needs to, like, everyone, like, you're moving and it's like, okay, like, you think of like the mash pit that you used to have for your hand. You stick your hand in there, you can see your hand coming out of 3D. Those parts of your ligaments are like, we're working, we get to be a part of the show today, like, they need us, like, this is, so every time you're standing, you're using like ligament A, 2 or 3, right? So now when you bend forward, right, now you're using ligament 7, 8, 9 and 10. And the more you learn to bend into your breath and take a deep breath, and you can end up bending even more because you've woken up those neural pathways. And now you can take an even deeper bend because your neural pathways are like, oh, I'm here, I'm alive, let me wake up. All right. So she's tugging neural pathways. They're igniting, they're working, they're coming in to the game. They're like, oh, I'm part of this experience. Thank you. And now she's back up, and now they're all softening again, and the brain is relaxing, but now the brain has ignited in a different way that you didn't allow it to ignite 10 minutes ago.
That's cool.
Right?
Next time, that's why you was walking around doing yoga. We be walking in the store. We were walking in the store, and she's like,
Trying to think of something good to say. Now you see why I feel comfortable
yeah.
just doing it. I don't give a fuck what you think. I know that I'm activating some brain waves.
Yeah. That makes now we walk around talking about free pose and
Yes.
no, it
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
do my tree pose. This is like, I have my shorts on under here because I'm ready to do some poses. So this is what I do when I do my vendor events.
Yeah,
I'm working at my events, and I'm just like, I'm chilling, waiting for someone to come. Learning to lean on yourself.
Yeah.
Learning to take half of the weight off of your body and being able to still have a conversation. A lot of people can't do this, but because I've practiced it, I've allowed my brain to say, like, she's gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
So we need to flare up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part.
That's kind of knowing yourself, though. Taking time out to know yourself.
That Nayama.
Yes.
And
Nayama.
going back and doing that work, right? Nayama.
Yeah, and doing the work. Yeah.
It's the Nayama's time. So now we can get more excited when we're talking about, why are we asking these questions? Why are we trying to understand how you feel, how you don't feel? Because I want to know what my restrictions are.
Yeah.
Like restrictions need to be put out on the table at the beginning. Observations of who you are and what you identify with need to be put out on the table from the beginning.
Yes.
And for yourself.
Healing. Yes.
Yeah.
You got some thumbs up and some stars here on my watch party. Yay! Thank you, guys. Thank you for the love. Yes.
Yeah, we're here to shed the love. So we're gonna share a little bit more about the other limbs because we're just talking about the first 3 limbs of yoga.
And this time is where we need a break. A commercial break because I can run to the bathroom.
Yeah, we can take a break. I can play my singing bowl.
Yeah.
So we'll take a little bit of break. I'm gonna play my singing bowl.
As we go to commercial, be back.
Let's over a little bit more. I'm gonna
Facebook and YouTube. Where's the way I can get my
Thank you for enjoying those levels. We appreciate you. I feel like I need to just touch that. That's right. So for those of you that enjoy listening to my sound bowl, you can definitely go and check out more of my recorded sessions on my YouTube channel. For those of you that are listening to me on another broadcast, my YouTube channel is Elite Motivation 411. You can find more of me, and you can find more of my recordings of my sound healing on EM Healing, and it's on about 9 different podcasts right now. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google Cast, Overcast, And I think like
It's
two
working.
others. Right?
I'm planning to step my game up.
Listen, Miss Edibles. Yeah, go ahead, step your game up. Share your edible tag right now.
You
Please.
can find Stoned Fusion on Instagram as stone.fusion. You can find us on Facebook as Stoned Fusion. And we are a cannabis edible company. We infuse whatever I can infuse with top quality cannabis, whether THC or CBD. So if you don't want to get high, but you really want the benefits of the cannabis plants.
That reminds me, I need to take my gummy for today. I don't think I took it. Oh. So you can keep talking.
CBD will be the way to go. So it helps with anxiety, depression, inflammation, chronic pain, seizures. It helps with
Patience.
It helps with a lot. So
Badass kids.
badass kids to calm their asses down. Yeah. So
Hyper kids.
yes. And they're really good. It's all made from natural,
light and love,
quality ingredients infused with love and light. It's enchanted with love and light.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And just to let y'all know, it does matter who cooks your food. And she's got the touch.
Thank you.
She's
Thank
got
you.
the touch. She's got the touch. Oh, my bad. Breaks over. Okay, all right. That's where. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the fourth limb of yoga, which is called the pranayama. Pranayama is the breath.
Okay.
So learning how to practice your breath is another part of practicing yoga. And so the more you practice your breath, the more you're practicing yoga. You're incorporating yogic philosophy, yogic lifestyle. So for all of you that have already been practicing these type of restraints, guess what? You're already halfway through the limbs of yoga. So you're already creating a holistic lifestyle for yourself. So put a pat on your back.
And Manny just said, and Stone Fusion edibles are legit, tested and approved. Thank you. Thank you, Manny.
Big ups. Ooh, ooh. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so they definitely help you work on your breath. I need to take a breather. So that's the pranayama. So prana is the breath.
Yes.
So pranayama is practice of the breath, right? And because remember, yama are the restraints.
Okay.
Right? That's the piece with the world. So so I'm teaching you what these Sanskrit words are saying. Prana, breath. Yama, breath with the world. Breath with the world. Take that in. Pranayama. So the more you practice your breath, the more you practice your restraints with others.
Yeah, okay, so I guess that's the ancient wisdom behind it. Because when people piss me off, I go into, and I can have a little bit more control. So that's exactly, I was doing yoga.
Yeah. Even when people make me excited or make me question, I'm like, even before I knew that the breath was important, I knew it was important to just breathe. And a lot of people be like, oh, you got an attitude. And I'm like, no, I don't have an attitude.
Oh, that was so funny. Yo, I was caught up in the experience. Like I was there. Like I'm elevated to that house.
So it's really because I'm just breathing in the situation.
Yeah.
Breathing in the situation. I want to see how that sits with me. I want to see what my lungs think about that shit. Like, wait a minute, let me breathe this in. Let me see if my body agrees with the shit you're saying.
Exactly.
So incorporating this part of your everyday life is beneficial.
I think I learned about the importance of the breath when my mom was in the hospital. She had surgery.
Oh, story time.
So my mom a couple years ago had her hysterectomy.
Mhm.
And when I went to visit her in the hospital, they gave her this tube, this breathing tube. And the breathing tube was for her to breathe deeply because her breathing deeply after the surgery was major for the healing process of her body. So when I saw that, I'm like, they're giving you this to breathe. She's like, yeah, but I have to take a deep breath in. And as she's breathing in, the machine or whatever inside of it is going down, and she had to hold it at a certain level, then release and start over. So it was teaching her how to breathe for the healing of her body.
Wow. So she wasn't actually taking any medicine or anything. They were just making her goddamn breathe.
Yeah. I remember.
And tricks of the trade.
I remember that stuck with me. Because in life I look the way my brain works. I look at patterns. So when I see a pattern, I start asking questions. So for me, that was a pattern. Like, wait a minute, they want her to breathe deeper so she don't get an infection because of the surgery. So it gotta be something about this breathing deep. So let me just start breathing deeply in a regular, But I didn't really understand until I got along my journey and started learning yoga and learning more into being more conscious and aware. Is when I realized, okay, there's a reason why.
The breath is vital.
Yes.
It brought you in this world and it will take you out.
I love that. Yeah.
And that's why it's number 4 on the list of the limbs. So number 5 is pratyahara, which is the withdrawal of senses. So this is when you're starting to learn to meditate. Okay, this is when you're starting to just withdraw from the things that are around you and just starting to clear yourself. And then part number 6 is dharana, which is intense focus. So usually after you start already allowing yourself the moments of quietness, the best thing to do is to learn how to focus on something. Some people learn to focus on a specific object. Some people learn to focus on specific words, thoughts, things that they want to happen for themselves.
Yeah.
And this state is where you can start really identifying. So the 7th limb is dhyana. And this is where the things start happening to you. So now that you're practicing meditation and you're learning to focus and you're lengthening the meditation span of your focus, you start that true state of meditation. When you really start feeling the surrender to it and really start allowing your thoughts to melt away and really start settling the mind and not thinking about so many outside things and
meaning
no more monkey brain. No more, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Do I even need to stop and do this meditation? Is this meditation even valid? Like, once those thoughts go away, now you're getting into those deep states of meditation and it's happening to you, right? You can't force that to happen. You understand, right? It's happening to you. So that's when you know that you're reaching it. So that's when you get to move into that 8th state, and it's the samadha. Which is interesting because that was like the beginning of the philosophy for yoga when we were doing the Buddha philosophy meditation. It was samadha. And this is it was samatha or something like that. It was close. It was a close Sanskrit word that resonates for me. And it's the state of oneness.
Okay.
So this is happening to you over the duration of you practicing your meditation. So those 2 last states are things that happen to you over time of leading into your meditation. So meditation is something that a lot of us didn't really know or resonate with or understand what that was. I know I didn't connect with meditation prior to 6 years ago. I thought that was for cool people. I thought that was for people that actually had a day of care, like people who actually cared about their day, kind of a thing, So I didn't think that was something that was for my lifestyle. So before this, The only thing I can compare it to, and which I still compare it to now, is prayer. So prayer and meditation are severely the same thing. It's just prayer is just much shorter.
And more talking on your side.
Yeah.
That's the way I explain it to people. It's just it's communication. When you pray, you're praying, talking to the creator. When you're meditating, you're listening. Like that's how communication works. I can't be talking to you and you talking and I'm trying to hear, like it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll lead into prayer. We'll start in prayer and lead into meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're ultimately doing. So that's where that intense focus comes in. It's prayer.
Yeah.
You're intensely focusing. And after you've done it so much, and with the withdrawal from your senses, with the meditation, is where you really find that state of oneness where you're understanding what to focus your prayers on, right? And then that in the turnaround, when you go into those meditative states, you're receiving the clarity that you've been focusing on. You know,
we all do that. They even do it in the church, because when I was in a church, that's something I did. Like in order for me to hear what God is saying, I would have to, like, even though I was walking around, I would have intense focus of meditation so I can go in and listen.
So you were taking it to another level, unbeknownst to you.
Exactly. I just love the universe.
And which is why, you felt a lot more abundant, coming and stepping out into more of like, what am I really experiencing?
Exactly.
I know it's larger than the faith that I'm following right now.
Exactly.
And guiding yourself in pure faith. And faith brings you into circles just so that you can see the faith clearer.
Yeah.
So that when you remove yourself, you identify with, I know why I was in that group now. You don't have to question it.
Yeah.
And that's because you've been able to identify with what you're at peace with yourself.
Yeah.
And that goes with those niyamas and yamas. You don't have to question the situations you allowed yourself to be in because you created that foundation.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I said it from the beginning. I want all of us to know that there's nothing that we've been doing wrong for ourselves. Most of the things, we just don't know why we were doing them.
Yeah.
And we couldn't put a word on it.
Yeah, but now I know, and now I can be more intentional.
Right.
But it's like certain things I'm learning now. It's like, oh, so that's what that is. Now I can do it even more instead of doing it by default.
Right. So less questioning, more action.
Yes.
So this is how we're proactive. So welcome to our proactive world.
This is how you create your reality. You're intentional and focused.
Yes. It spreads a lot of value for me, and that's why I brought this other sheet out so I can also identify with another way of splitting it up. So what is happening in our specific universe, not universe,
meverse,
is broken down into 4 parts, right? It's our physical experience, our spiritual experience, our mental experience, and our emotional experience. And we are trying to balance all of these experiences at once.
Yeah.
So this is what the 8 limbs of yoga will help us to identify with all of these experiences at the same time, because they're all happening to us at the same time. When we get married, because that's a very big life event, I like to use a big life event. So no one can say, but what if this or that? No, like if we get married, right, no matter what it is, there's a physical experience that's happening, right? The enjoyment, the sweat, the tears, the overeating, the not eating, right? There's a spiritual experience. I got to prepare for this person coming into my life. I got to prepare for them knowing me more, seeing me more. That's more of like the emotional.
Yeah.
The spiritual experience is like preparing of the energy, I feel.
Yeah.
Of what you're gonna, of how you want to live your purpose. Like, how are you gonna share your purpose with this person? How is this life going to manifest? How are we gonna, because it's a protective barrier.
Yeah.
Right. So I built this protective barrier for me. How am I gonna bring that together? That's the spiritual, right? And then the mental is like this person I'm gonna have, if I'm getting married to this person, I'm gonna have them for multiple decades in my life. You know, what parts of me do I want to keep being? What parts of me don't I want to keep being? And then there's that emotional that I was talking about before, like the people that I'm gonna have in my world. Like, how am I gonna start telling people I'm getting married or not married, and I have this spouse? You know, all of these happening at the same time. And being able to apply what is peace to us will allow us to isolate all of those questions that don't matter. Like the people saying like, oh, is it too soon? Or do you know them enough?
Yeah.
Or their finances.
Yeah.
So this is why having practices such as yoga in your life are beneficial.
It covers a lot.
It covers a lot. It helps you to just be in that state of oneness. If anything seems unsettling, anything that you haven't been used to, it'll come up in meditation. It'll come up. Like, what is bothering me? Why can't I breathe properly? Why can't I sit properly?
Yeah.
You know, so those are the thoughts and the mentality and the philosophy of yoga. So now that I've given you guys a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. A lot of helpful information.
Right. I want to just help y'all do some movement and think about the body. So Kenese is going to be our body to talk about alignment.
Okay.
So how we can start considering how to get more in alignment, because a lot of us are really fixed on learning to be more accurate in our poses, in our posture in life, right? So whenever you're dealing with it's okay, with building your physical, emotional, mental health, you always want to maybe consider starting with the body. A lot of people want to lose weight first. A lot of people want to have certain parts of their body look curvier or defined. And the way that you're going to be able to get these things is knowing what your body is positioned, what it's accustomed to, what you've been giving it. And this is where the body assessment comes in.
So am I standing here okay? Or?
Yeah. Actually, we want to push it back. Let's push the chair back a little bit because I can't see your feet. I can't see your feet too much.
Making me work.
We're gonna work for y'all. I'm gonna push it back just a little. See, y'all got us working. All right, I think it'll be like if you come over here, we'll see your feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta fix it. Anyway. So.
Yeah, so you can come over here, probably like right here, which would be best. I can stand. I can sit.
Okay, this is actually good. Yeah.
Perfect. So what happens in a body assessment whenever you meet with a yoga instructor, you want to do this with a licensed individual or someone that is working on becoming licensed, because they're training to identify these things for you so that you can become more in alignment with yourself. Because a lot of us haven't been really focusing on the certain areas of our body, because everything that we do in our life affects certain areas of our body. So when you're dealing with a body assessment, the things that are going to be identified is 6 areas of your body that we want to focus on. So the first part is your feet. You know, how are you standing when you stand up? Are your feet straight? Are they pointed out? Can you show them pointing out your feet? Like, do you stand like this? Do you walk like this? You know?
That feels uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, some people do. And then, you know, or are your feet in? I should have got my other.
That's a whole different walk.
Yeah.
That's Shanae and Felicia walk.
So that's called pig-toed, right? So do you have any kind of inversions, eversions happening down here? Are your feet flat-footed? You know, do you have an arch in your foot? All of those things matter. Do you have any injuries in this area of your body? If you do, you need to find exercises that are going to help you bring that part of your body back into alignment, or look for a trusted guided instructor to give you personal one-on-one, group time, whatever it is. Make sure you look for someone to give you some correcting moves for that part of your body. So the next part of your body that we're going to look at are your knees. Right? What do your knees look like? Are they hyperextended? Meaning, I think they're like, are they like pushing out? You know, are they bow-legged? Are they knock knees? Do you know what bow-legged looks like? Remember what bow-legged looks like? Yep. Do your legs look like that?
Or knock knees like this.
Do they look like knock knees? You know, are they hyperextended? You know, like are your knees protruding out to where if these are protruding out, then that would mean like your hip is pushed in. If this is pushing out. Right?
Like that?
Yeah.
That's how they would.
Some people walk like this.
I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm just demonstrating so you guys can understand.
And it makes her feel funny because that's not the proper way to walk. So, and I mean, that brings up a valid point because tall people, they spend so much of their day trying to communicate with us short people.
Yeah, they're always like
that they don't think about their posture and they don't think what it does to them over time. So you end up seeing tall people in high school that they're already slouching. You already see them struggling in high school. So imagine what curvature you've done to your body. You know, and it's gonna affect these last 4 parts of your body is your posture. And so your hips. Is one hip higher than the other, you know? So a person is going to actually like take a picture of you and actually draw lines for all of these things so that you can actually visually see if your posture is off. But you definitely want to see like, and you can look in the mirror yourself. Does your hip look like it's off? You know, ask yourself that question. Like, what does it feel like for you there? Do you have any hip issues? Do you have any prior knee issues? You know? Look for exercises that are going to help you work on that. Every part of your body has a time frame to regenerate. Mm-hmm. So when people sit there and tell you like, oh, you've broken something, it's not going to work anymore. Like, no, it's not going to work until you allow it the time to heal and regenerate. And you've got to help assist it, right? You got to find the movements that are going to be beneficial for that body. Right. So if like people with knee problems, you know, you want to apply a lot of blankets and cushions whenever you're doing any kind of moves that incorporate with your knees. Okay. You know, because you don't want to shy away from something because you're telling your body that I'm incapable of doing something. So you're shutting down neural pathways.
And we don't do that.
We don't want to shut down our neural pathways.
We don't want to do that.
So the next part is your pelvis. You know, and this is still in the same area of your hips. But your pelvis is very important because you can actually have a tilted pelvis to where you have it's either tilted forward too much and you have that beer belly, but you're not pregnant and you don't drink beer.
I've seen people like that.
Or you have the tilt going the other way, and that's why people have that hunchback. And it actually creates a misalignment in their pelvis, and you have that hunchback.
I've seen people like that too.
Okay. These are all things that can be corrected. Okay.
By doing yoga.
By doing yoga.
Yoga. Top of my game.
Practicing what ligament it is, what joints it is. Is it due to the lack of rotating, contracting, restricting? There's something that you're not giving it. And you're telling it that it needs to be this way. This is why people get carpal tunnel, because you're literally just keeping your hands like this for 8 to 12 hours a day, and you're telling your hands they only need to be like this for majority of the day. So you might as well figure out how to just mold yourself to be like this 8 hours of the day, so you can just do this for 8 hours of the day.
That sucks,
right? And it's very prevalent in hairdressers getting carpal tunnel as well. So it's repetitive motion of the same movement that is creating these symptoms. So all you have to do, repetitive motion in the opposite way, people. opposite. So that's what yoga does. Yoga does the restrictions. Yoga does the constrictions. It goes back and forth. Nice, so the next part is your shoulders, right? Your shoulders also are meant to be in alignment. And a lot of us can actually really visually see if our shoulders are not in alignment. And that would be a strong indication of where your spine is at, where your pelvis is being affected, where your hips are being affected. It can create a whole misalignment in your body. This is why people have that multiple sclerosis and stuff, because they have multiple misalignments and the doctors don't know why it's happening. That's what multiple sclerosis is. I'm so sad when I read these things.
Oh, you gotta do some yoga. Well,
Yeah.
lack of knowledge. People suffer for the lack of knowledge.
Yes. So the last part is the posture. Head forward when you stand up. Some people, when they stand up, their head is literally tilted forward, and they can't really lift their head up all the way.
That's uncomfortable too.
Yeah. So acknowledging, like, if you have any posture issues, you want to be able to tell the person that's helping you, like, yes, I feel pain here, or I feel pain here, because there's a muscle, a ligament, or a tendon that's not being exercised, moved, or is being bombarded. Thank you for being our assessment.
Thank you.
She was so helpful. So helpful. Being a willing specimen to just stand there and let you know, like, it's okay to not know what your body looks like.
Yeah.
We all have different body types, and we can't, like, I can't look at you and say, well, I don't sit like that, and say, well, then I must have back problems. You know,
Yeah.
it could be anything else that's creating that, and we need to identify with those things, because those are triggers of stress for our life, and it doesn't allow us to answer those questions. So when we're doing our yoga and you see us in our full instruction, you know, these are a lot of the things that are taking place for us, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and emotionally, you know, to allow ourselves to stretch in ways that we've never stretched before. You know, because in society, you don't see people of our makeup doing that stuff. You know, I've only ever seen coaches and yoga in the more leisurely movies, you know, where people have free time to do something, they might as well pick something up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a yoga style, and it's really not a style, it's really a philosophy. It's a way of living your exuberant self.
Yes.
You know, so I'm excited. I am too. I really appreciate y'all all staying in and listening to all this yoga goodness.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of your love and light. And I know that we've been on here for a while. I don't even know how long we've been here, for an hour. Yeah, but we're gonna go and eat our lunch. Actually, dinner at this point.
Yeah. Oh, guess what we're having? Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. So we're having mashed potatoes.
Homemade
mashed potatoes, which taste bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But for the gravy, we made, what is it called? Acorn squash. We cooked that, and then I made that into a gravy. Oh my goodness, it tastes amazing. So I can't wait to put it together. And then we're gonna have some sauteed mushrooms with green onions and tomatoes. And that's what we're gonna have. I can't wait to try it. I probably may dash some red wine in the mushroom.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes, we do have, and it's organic and it's free of chemicals.
Yes, the wine.
That's that conscious living.
Yes, exactly. So I'm excited.
I made that wine last.
We'll just take a little bit.
Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. Remember, if you are watching this on anything else other than YouTube, check me out on YouTube so that you can connect with me more. I am Elite Motivation 411, Starseed MA, with your girl Kenese Sonny.
From Malachi Coaching. I'm on YouTube as Malachi_Coaching 555. Facebook, Malachi Coaching. For your edibles, that'll be Stone.Fusion on Instagram, Stone Fusion on Facebook. And yeah, I'm on Instagram too for Malachi Coaching. So that's Malachite, Stone.Coaching on Instagram. That's a lot.
Much love and light. Okay, we ended Facebook. Now I'm ending YouTube. Much love and light, YouTube. You've been real.
Thanks for rocking with us.